Hey everyone, I'm Lucas Kwiatkowski, founder of Nomads, hands-on and advanced PPC. And we know a lot of you guys watching the videos now are users of Scale Insights. And you guys know we're promoting this tool, we're working with Scale Insights closely on all of our accounts. So I wanted to dive a little deeper on a specific case study with a brand that we do manage, that we were able to use Scale Insights and push them past a sales plateau. So I pulled some really broad numbers. I'm gonna jump into Scale Insights and a campaign manager in a second here. But we came onto this account last year in about October and have been ramping it up since then. Now, when people see these numbers and this increase in tacos, they always freak out. So this brand was at about 140, 150 in sales every month. And in June last year, they spent 18K at a 13% tacos. Now, with Scale Insights, I couldn't go back that far because we didn't have that data, right? But low tacos in June of 2022, we have almost doubled sales, but really, really ramped up spend. And now tacos is 22%, but still running at a 20% profit. Okay, so this is a very, very high margin product, luckily. So their profit on this 270 was still 53K. Okay, and what happened here is a lot of people, they are afraid to push past the tacos and ACOS limit, and they stay at the same sales numbers for months and for years. And if you don't take the time to really push and do aggressive campaigns, you're not going to ever get past that limit and gain more ranking. So I wanted to pull this tacos number, and then I also want to just pull up that profit number, and I have the account up here, right? So last month, right here in Scale Insights, we've got 52K in profit, right? 58K spent on ads, 35% ACOS. So the numbers are real, right? Very, very healthy margin product here. And I want to dive a little deeper and talk about the talking points that we did, and shout out to Stefano and the rest of my team who actually brought this account to my attention and let me know that it was a good case study because there's some very simple things that we did. So the owner was using Scale Insights on their own, and it's a bit of a learning curve, and they were doing a lot of stuff. And what we did a lot, and a lot of people default to this, is they use single keyword campaigns with low budgets, because they think, okay, they're not going to overspend. I can get a lot of control with these single keyword campaigns. We like to go the opposite. So we have our own process that we settle in. And what we did when we came out of this account, we've reduced the number of single keyword campaigns. And they have now over 2,800 paused campaigns. And now we're only running with 216 campaigns. So yes, in some cases, you should have single keywords running and spending if they're doing a lot of volume. If they're not, it's so messy to have 2,000 campaigns running. You can get away with just hundreds, right? And now I'm going to dive in here a little more to Seller Central and show you guys some of the more specifics that we did and how we're always happy to look at your accounts. If you're using Scale Insights right now, if you're at a sales plateau, so we always like to come into business reports here, and you can see what I'm talking about. Now this brand launched like early 2020, right? And they were stuck at about 90K for a while. They jumped up a little bit. This is when we came on, right? We were really, really ramping up spend, and you can see they were at the same amount of sales for almost a year, okay? They never got higher than probably 120K a month in sales because they were just focused on that profitability number and that tacos and just staying there. And if you don't push past the limits and hire an agency like us to get you thinking outside the bounds to grow your account, these are the numbers you're going to see, and you're going to think that you're stuck and you've hit a ceiling. So we came on again in about September, October. And then all of a sudden, now after a few months of really aggressive spending, we're now over that 200K a month mark, okay? So if I jump into Seller Central here, or into Campaign Manager, you can see that right now I have just enabled campaigns up, okay? So you can see the ramp up that we've had. Since October is we're now spending more, and we're spending, right, 50 to 60K a month, but the profit is still very healthy. So sometimes you do need to sacrifice a little bit of profit for growth, because tacos is high for this account. It's 22%. But if we go back to that, down to that 12, 13%, they're not going to be continually growing their sales, okay? So the biggest thing that we did, and this is just how we name our campaigns, right? SPBR is broad campaigns. A lot of people completely shy away from broad campaigns. If you have a high margin product, you still want to keep bidding on broad, okay? So broad wasn't really spending anything. It was spending, right, $100 a month because it was only pushing the single keyword campaigns. So when we came on, we started a few, but now that we've got a better handle on the account and we're looking for more long tail keywords, now we're spending about $2,000 a month on broad. And this isn't anything crazy, but what broad is good for is impressions, okay? So broad match gets us a lot of impressions and just expands the brand into new customers. So don't go to sleep on broad matches, especially if you're healthy and looking to grow. You want to have some broad running. But the biggest thing here, as you would expect, is exact match. So I look at exact, and let's actually look at that real quick. So I just want to look at these while I'm in here live with you guys. So spend 16,000 on exact last month with 2.8 million. So 16K and 2.8 million. And if I look at broad, we have 350 with 1,700. So, right, you get a lot more impressions for cheaper. That's why broad is so important to an account. Exact match, this is the key, right? But the biggest thing that I want to hit home here with exact match that we did is, like I said, they had 50 portfolios with thousands of campaigns and single keyword campaigns. If you're not a full-time PPC manager, those are impossible to manage. Even if you're using something like Scale Insights, it's a lot to keep up with, okay? So we have a small number of targets in every campaign, but we don't go with single keywords because they're just very hard to keep track of. So this is now we have an exact match, right? Exact match last month spent $16,000 out of that like 50K. So exact match is about 30% of our total spend, and that's what's helping us ramp. And then one more thing here I want to touch on that you can't go to sleep on that we're constantly adding is obviously sponsored brands. So if we look at sponsored brand and sponsored brand video, again, a healthy margin product. So this spent 10K last month, and this is where a lot of our growth is coming from, is from videos. So sponsored brand exact match, sponsored product exact match and videos and a little bit of broad match. And this account is continually growing month over month right now. About every 2 months, we're making a jump. So what we do is we take a month to hit it hard and spend. We see what new keywords we can rank on, and then boom, and then we can go a little healthier that second month of growth. So you can see every 2 months we're about on a good growth trajectory right now. So guys, if you're using Scale Insights, if it is a bit of a learning curve for you, we're happy to look at it, kind of simplify the campaign for you, and hopefully help you grow even more.